Now, I'm not going to pretend that I'm sad to be escaping the 35-degree heat that we have here at the moment in Mallorca. I think everyone needs a break, and today we are getting that break. I'm at Palma Airport. It's just gone 8:30. It's the middle of August. We're right in the middle of peak season here. So join me on my journey back to the UK. Let's see how busy the airport is. Let's see what the flight is like. And hey, fingers crossed it's better than the last one. Okay, so the airport is looking pretty busy at the moment this morning. Let's see how busy the EasyJet desk is. And oh my goodness, am I glad that we are only bringing carry-on luggage today aboard our flight. We are travelling EasyJet towards Bristol, but check out the queues here. Now, I really do recommend getting here a good 2 hours before your flight. We've got here about an hour and a half before our flight, but I wouldn't like to be at the back of this queue before getting my flight to Bristol at 10 AM this morning. Now, just to give you an idea of just the amount of people travelling through the airport this summer, you can just see the flow of people going up the escalator here. It's super busy this morning. Now, from what I can see, all the check-in desks here are the same. RyanAir is going to be the same as well, and Vueling and all the other airlines. So the message here is, if you're travelling during August, make sure you get to the airport in good time. Okay, so let's head on over to the security area and see how busy that is this morning. There is a fast track lane going through security. You shouldn't need that unless you're checking in very late, but my goodness me, check out the queues going through security this morning. Now, I've never seen this at Palma Airport before. There's no room to get through the gates here, so we'll have to wait. So although flights don't open for check-in until 2 hours before the flight, I actually recommend getting here and just giving it an extra half an hour. I mean, these are quite, honestly, the longest queues I've ever seen in security for many summers actually, and they've never queued all the way up to the security gates either. So it's taken us a good 20 minutes to get through security this morning, about 20-25 minutes. So as I said before, just make sure you get here in really good time, because you do not want to end up missing your flight. Even the duty-free area this morning is pretty busy, as you can see. So if you're flying to the EU, you can see the poster here as to how much wine, spirits and cigarettes you can take with you. Same goes as well if you're travelling over to the UK. Well, I think we can safely say that the airport is back to normal post-pandemic. Haven't seen it so busy here for a good 3 years, since 2019. So many people travelling. But this is definitely peak season travel over here in Mallorca. Now, if you're flying out to the UK, I really wouldn't recommend going to the restaurants that we've just passed outside duty free. I'd recommend getting through passport control first before going into any of the restaurants, because it's going to be very, very busy down here. Check out the amount of people travelling this morning. Now, in the UK, if you are over 12 years old, you can use the electronic gates, but here in Mallorca you can't. Kids have to go through the manual passport control. Okay, so getting through security took about, well, just under 5 minutes. It's quite fast actually. Now, you can see the cafes here are a lot quieter than just beyond security. So my advice is, if you are travelling to the UK, get down to Terminal A. You'll have a much quieter cafe experience than you're going to find right by the duty free. Right, let's go and check on the status of the flight. Okay, so good news is that it looks like our flight to Bristol this morning is going out on time. They've actually suggested a 50-minute boarding time actually, so they're saying we're boarding at 9:10 even though the flight isn't departing until 10 AM this morning. So our flight goes out of gate A10 this morning, so we're going to head on through the airport and try and pick up a bottle of water on the way. Now there are plenty of cafes down here, including a Burger King as well. There are a few shops as well to my right hand side. Got some duty free down here too. So as I said before, my advice is just get through that main busy duty free area before coming down towards Terminal A. So the great thing actually at flying out of Palma Airport is that you can get a bottle of water for just €1.10 here. So we're going to pick one up. It's much cheaper than getting it on the plane. Okay, so we're boarding right at the very end of the airport today. I can actually see that our plane is already in, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, if we did have hold luggage, I'm not fancying the chances of the people that were in the queue this morning. I hope they managed to make it to this departure gate in time. So it looks like we're going to take off on time this morning. They've actually boarded us at 20 minutes early, which is amazing. I don't think that's ever happened before actually on a recent flight, so that's really, really good news. But I have to say the plane is absolutely freezing, so make sure you bring a jumper or something onto your flight, or it's going to freeze. Okay, so I've come through security. We didn't have luggage to collect and we're outside now in the beautiful, cooler, cloudy weather that is over here at Bristol Airport. Now, a couple of tips for you if you're travelling through Mallorca this summer. Do not forget to print off your boarding passes if you're going to the airport, because you may well have read that RyanAir did charge a couple recently. I think that's £110 for failure to print off their boarding passes, so make sure you do that. If you're travelling in the morning to Palma Airport, it's a much better time of day to travel, simply because you're not going to pick up the traffic as well. The traffic is a lot better in the mornings, it becomes a bit of a nightmare in the afternoons, so also just bear that in mind as well if you're getting an afternoon or an evening flight, and leave a lot more time for your journey to get through the traffic going around Palma to get to the airport. If you are travelling over to Mallorca very soon, I hope you have a really good trip. If you're travelling back from Mallorca, well, I hope you have a good trip as well. Okay everyone, I hope this video is useful if you're coming through Palma Airport this summer. We're going to go and pick up our car hire now and go and continue with our holiday. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. You can find me on the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.